Hey there, my name is Megan and welcome back to my channel. This is actually my Christmas book haul part 2 because a lot of these books I got with Christmas money and then some of them were gifts. So I have 8 books to show you guys. I have a mix of YA and adult, so I'm going to go ahead and start with my adult books first, and I will also put timestamps down below if you're interested in skipping between the YA and the adult. But before we go ahead and get on into the haul, if you are not already subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as the little bell icon so you can be notified every time I post new content. I post new videos every Wednesday and every Saturday and sometimes on Monday. Also, don't forget to check down in the description box for links to all of my social media, including my Discord and my Patreon. The first book I'm going to be talking about was actually sent to me by one of my subscribers, and she is just so sweet because I was on Goodreads one day and I saw that she'd written a book and I had clicked, to read, and then I started reading the sample, and then I got an email from her on Discord like, I don't even know, 10 minutes later saying, hey, I saw that you marked my book as to read, so I'm going to send you a copy. And I was like, oh my gosh, I was literally just reading the sample on Goodreads, and I'm looking to read more sci-fi this year. So she is just so sweet. And the book is Escape Reality by Kayla Frost. This is an adult science fiction kind of space opera cyberpunky is kind of the way I took it. But it follows a character named Edith, and Edith definitely has technological advances. She has implants and things like that, and she has been on this mission, and she lands on this planet, and she finds that she cannot remember anything. She cannot remember why she was sent on this mission, and her implants and all of her tech is malfunctioning. So she has to go on a mission to recover her memory and find out why she was sent to a prison planet. And it just sounds like it's going to have a lot of mystery to it. I'm really looking forward to seeing the sciencey aspects. So I do plan on getting to this sometime in the spring. So thank you, Kayla, so much for sending this to me. I'm very excited to read it. The next book I got is The Martian Chronicles by Ray Bradbury. And I love Ray Bradbury. Fahrenheit 451 is one of my favorite books of all time, and I actually love his short stories. A lot of his short stories deal with sci-fi. If you've ever read All Summer in a Day, a lot of his stories revolve around traveling to different planets and things like that. And like I said, I want to read more sci-fi. So I have never read The Martian Chronicles by him, but it combines things that I love: science fiction, space travel, and Ray Bradbury. So I couldn't help but pick it up. I have no clue what this is about. All I deduced from reading the back is that at one time humans had colonized Mars and were living on Mars, and then something went wrong, and I think we kind of follow that story. That might be completely incorrect, but that's kind of what I got. But this book isn't very long, and I usually get through Ray Bradbury pretty quickly, so this is another book hopefully I can get to this year, and I'm very excited to have it in my collection. The next book I got was Spellslinger by Sebastian de Castile. This is book 1 in his Spellslinger quartet, I believe it is. And I've always wanted to read something by Sebastian de Castile, and I remember seeing this book on BookTube at some time. I don't remember who it was that was talking about it, but I thought it sounded like something I would like. But in this book, we are following a character named Kellen, and in this world, magicians duel to show almost like their worth and their powers. And Kellen is nearing his duel, but nobody knows that his magic is fading and that he's unable to use magic like he used to. If you lose your magic in this world, you actually are exiled. So Kellen has to do everything he can to try and find out why his magic is fading, how to get it back, and how to make sure that he saves face and that no one knows what's happening to him. So I am very excited to have this and see if Sebastian de Castile is an author that I enjoy and captivates me, because then I can read the rest of the series and then some of the other series that he has published. The next book I got is The Bone Ships by R.J. Baker. This is book 1 in the Tide Child trilogy. I think this might be a duology. I'm not sure. I know that the second book is out, but this book I have not seen anyone actually review, but I read the synopsis and I thought it was so cool and just right up my alley. But this follows a world where people used to build these ships out of dragon bones, and they were just formidable and, showed power to the countries that were able to build these ships. But then the dragons ended up becoming almost extinct, so they weren't able to build these ships anymore from the bones. But recently a dragon has been sighted. So all of these countries and all of these people are on this mission to get this dragon so that they can harvest its bones and continue to build ships. And that just sounds absolutely wild to me. We have kind of like a seafaring, swashbuckling story combined with dragons. That actually reminds me a lot of the Draconis Memoria series by Anthony Ryan, because there's very similarities. A lot of that trilogy takes place on the water too, with dragons. But I love both of those things, so this is definitely a series that speaks to me, and I'm glad to give it a try to see if RJ Baker is an author that I want to read more of. The next 4 books I'm going to show you guys are all YA and middle grade. The first one, of course, is A Vow So Bold and Deadly by Bridget Kemmer, and this is book 3 in her Curse Breakers trilogy, which is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. By the way, you're going to see a theme with some of the books that I bought in retellings in a minute, but I love the first 2 books in this trilogy. We are introduced to a character named Harper, who is a modern girl who lives in Washington, D.C., and in the first book she gets transported to this magical world of Emberfell and gets involved with a prince there that is under a curse, as well as his kind of like sidekick, and there's an evil enchantress that they have to fight and defeat, and there's just so much goodness in this series. I love all the characters, and I'm really interested to see if this book revisits Harper and Ren, the main characters from the first book, because the second book deviated from that and was more surrounding Gray and a new character. So I'm really excited to see how all of these characters come together to address that cliffhanger at the end of book 2. So definitely a series I am going to finish in 2021 because it's easy to get through. Her writing style is extremely fast-paced and easy to read. The next book I decided to pick up is Bookish and the Beast by Ashley Poston. This is another Beauty and the Beast retelling, and this is book 3 in her Once Upon a Con series, which I think each book addresses a different fairy tale. I couldn't pass on this one because it is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and it is fairly short. But in this book, we follow a girl named Rosie, and Rosie lives in a small town in the United States, and she is just very bookish, and she is busy applying to colleges, and her mother also recently died, so she is dealing with a lot of grief over her mother's death. And then we have our other character named Vance, and Vance is a kind of Hollywood icon, and he ends up getting involved in a Hollywood scandal, and he needs somewhere to hide out, so he chooses small town USA, the exact town where Rosie lives, and their paths end up crossing. So it just sounds like it's going to be a cute romance YA contemporary that involves 2 characters who have prejudices against each other coming together in a cute romantic ending. Plus, I'm interested to see how Ashley Poston incorporates all of the Beauty and the Beast elements. So definitely one that I can see myself reading when I just need something cute, happy, and fluffy. The next book I picked up is Of Curses and Kisses by Zendaya Menon. This is another Beauty and the Beast retelling. I went a little crazy, and I personally have never read anything by Zendaya Menon. I think she wrote When Dimple Met Richie, and There's Something About Sweetie, which are YA contemporaries, and I've never read them because that's not a genre I normally read, but I know her name. But in this story, we follow a girl named Jaya, and Jaya is a princess, and she attends this really elite boarding school, and there is a feud between Jaya's family and another family, and the feud ended up affecting Jaya's little sister, and the only thing that Jaya wants is revenge. And she finds out that the son of the enemy family is attending the same boarding school as her, so she decides to make him fall in love with her and then completely break his heart to get back at him. This actually has like Romeo and Juliet vibes too, doesn't it? It does. Then we meet our other main character, Gray, the love interest, and he has been under a curse that will manifest itself when he is 18 years old. And in comes Jaya, and he is taken with her, but he can't shake the feeling that she is hiding something. I've never read a Beauty and the Beast retelling where our beauty is like trying to get revenge on the beast, so I think that's a really interesting kind of spin on the original fairy tale, but definitely a book that I will read if I'm looking for something cutesy and fun, just like Bookish and the Beast. And I love comparing Beauty and the Beast retellings to the original fairy tale, and it's one of my favorite retellings, so I'm glad to have this in my collection. The next book I picked up is Tunnel of Bones by Victoria Schwab. This is book 2 in the City of Ghosts series. This is a middle grade paranormal series. I read City of Ghosts, I think in 2019 and thought it was just a lot of fun and super cute. But this follows a girl named Cassidy, and she had a near-death experience at one time, and ever since then, she has been able to see ghosts. In fact, her best friend and sidekick is a ghost. And ironically, her parents are ghost hunters, so she travels throughout the world on their ghost hunting missions. And in this book, she is in Paris, and she ends up accidentally unleashing this really malevolent spirit upon the city of Paris and has to figure out how to stop it. These books are really short. They're a lot of fun. I think it's a great October read because, you have just creepy ghosts, and Victoria's writing is very atmospheric. I know in the first book she described the setting of Scotland so well, so I'm so excited to read how she describes Paris and especially the underground catacombs. Oh, I eat it up. So definitely a book I will probably get to in October. All right, you guys, so that is it for my book haul. Let me know in the comments if you have read any of these and what you thought of them, or if you have hauled any books in January and what they were, and I will see you guys soon in another video. Goodbye.